Hey there, my name's Adam. We do daily devotionals for busy Christians. Today's March 10th, and we're talking about denying yourself. So let's cannonball right into this thing. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful truths in Christianity often sound counterintuitive? Self-denial doesn't exactly market well in our self-obsessed culture, does it? For me personally, as an alcoholic with 10 years sober, denying myself is one of the hardest things I have to do each day. A brother in recovery, he once said to me, alcoholics usually have a solid case of main character syndrome. We feel like everything happens for us, like we're the stars of this big grand story. It's exhausting to try and be the director, producer, and star of our own lives. That's why Jesus' words in Mark 8:34, they hit me so hard. Quote, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me." End quote. This isn't just nice advice, it's a radical invitation to a completely different way of living. Once I had my children, it clicked. I saw that actions made for my pleasure would hurt them in the long run. By denying myself these pleasures, I could become the strongest version of myself. That's when I understood self-denial isn't about deprivation. It's about liberation. With each day of sobriety, with each choice of God's way over my impulses, I'm not losing something. I'm gaining everything that matters. I'm trading temporary satisfaction for lasting joy, exchanging cheap thrills for genuine peace. The beautiful paradox is that in losing ourselves, we find who we were truly meant to be. When I stopped being the center of my universe, I discovered a universe infinitely more beautiful. My relationships deepened, my purpose clarified, and my joy multiplied. Someday that cross feels impossibly heavy, but I've found that the weight of my selfish desires was actually much heavier than the cross Jesus asked me to carry. Today, try and identify one area where you need to practice self-denial. Share it in the comments. What are you working on? What if the strongest person you know isn't the one who never falls, but the one who knows how to surrender? What if true strength comes from somewhere else entirely? I used to think that being strong meant never needing help, standing tall on my own and conquering every challenge through sheer determination. I built walls around my weakness and presented an image of having it all put together. But inside, I was crumbling. Then came the moment when my facade couldn't hold anymore. I had to admit I couldn't do it alone. That surrender, that admission of powerlessness, was paradoxically the most empowering moment of my life. It wasn't weakness to admit I needed help. In fact, it was the first truly strong thing that I'd ever done. This is the counterintuitive wisdom at the heart of discipleship. When Jesus calls us to deny ourselves, he's not asking us to become less. He's inviting us to become more by allowing him to work through our surrendered lives. Self-denial isn't self-destruction, it's self-discovery. I've witnessed this transformation countless times. The executive who found true influence when she stopped chasing power, the father who discovered real authority when he learned to serve, and the addict who found freedom when he admitted his powerlessness. Every time we say no to our lesser desires, we're saying yes to something far greater. Every surrender of our limited vision gives us access to God's limitless perspective. What looks like loss becomes immeasurable gain. The path of self-denial, it requires daily choices. It's choosing patience when we want to react in anger. It's choosing generosity when you want to hold tight to what's yours. It's choosing humility when pride feels more comfortable. What area of your life do you need to surrender today? Where are you still trying to maintain control? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your vulnerability might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Have you ever noticed how the things that we think give us freedom often end up enslaving us, while the things that seem restrictive actually set us free? We live in a world that equates freedom with unlimited choices and unconstrained desires. Follow your heart, everybody says. But if you've lived long enough, you've probably discovered that unbridled self-indulgence leads not to freedom, but to bondage. Our unchecked desires become demanding masters. I've seen this in my own life. Every time I've pursued pleasure as an end in itself, it's turned hollow. Every time I've made myself the center of my world's grown smaller. The more I've grasped for control, the less I've actually had. True freedom comes not from indulging every impulse, but from aligning our desires with something greater. When we deny the lesser for the greater, we don't lose freedom, we gain it. Like a river that flows most powerfully within the banks, we find our greatest expressions within the boundaries of God's design. This is the paradoxical journey of discipleship. By saying no to ourselves, we say yes to transformation. By letting go of our grip on life, we find ourselves held by someone much stronger than our own efforts. By surrendering control, we gain a peace that no amount of control could ever provide us. I've watched people walk this path of self-denial into surprising freedom. The woman who found joy in simplicity after years of materialism. The man who discovered true intimacy after surrendering his pride. And the family who found abundance and generosity after years of scarcity thinking. This freedom through self-denial isn't passive or weak. It's vibrantly active and profoundly strong. It's the freedom to love without expectation, to give without calculation, and to serve without resentment. It's the freedom to be fully human as God intended, not driven by compulsions or fear, but motivated by love and purpose. Today, consider what false freedom you might be clinging to. What self-denial might actually lead you to a greater liberty. And if you're so kind to share your reflections in the comments. If you found value in this, please do share it with others who might benefit from it as well. Each like, comment, and share really does help spread the message and reach more people, and it's truly appreciated. Together, let's discover the surprising freedom that awaits just beyond surrender. Once again, I'm Adam. I want to thank you so much for being here. As always, my friend, onward, and God bless you.